All right. Well, thank you all for joining this advisory committee. And the order of operations today is reading the executive order, the Open Meeting Act, a little refresher on what that means. This is my first time chairing, and we have some new members here. And so just explaining just a little run through of what that entails and what we're doing. Then we'll do member introductions from all of us. And then we will go through the 4 subcommittees, discuss them, and then figure out where everyone wants to be for representation. And then we will adjourn. So, all right. So I'm going to screen share and pull up the executive order, and I'm going to read everything up to the part where we are all mentioned. So I'm going to read the goal for us. So share content. Here we go. Can everyone see this screen?
Yes.
Okay. Whereas Howard County recognizes the importance of preserving its rich history and associated historic sites, which offer valuable insights into our past that help enable us to move forward in an inclusive, mindful, and enlightening manner and contribute to the character of our community. And whereas the thoughtful stewardship of our history and historic resources require a coordinated and informed approach to preservation, acquisition, programming, partnership, research, and prioritization. And whereas a dedicated advisory group comprised of experts and engaged residents can provide invaluable guidance to Howard County government in these efforts to ensure the historic site and associated history is accessible and available to all and protected for future generations. And whereas I wish to establish a history and historic sites advisory work group that consists of experts, public volunteers, and county professionals to assist in these planning processes surrounding our county's history and historic sites. Now, therefore, be it ordered that the History and Historic Site Advisory Work Group is established. And further, and be it further ordered that the work group shall be overseen by Howard County Government's Department of Recreation and Parks, and be further ordered that the work group shall make recommendations regarding the county's acquisition, programming, partnership, research, prioritization goals for the county's history and historic sites. And then further is the roster. So I am going to stop sharing that. And now I'm going to get to section 3. We're moving along. 6 parts, we're on 3. The Open Meeting Act. So I'm going to pull up this. I'm here, but can't unmute. Oh, that's all right, Connor. That's all right. Text me for anything if you need to. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the Open Meetings Act. Okay. Can everyone see this? Maryland.gov?
Yes.
All right. So what is the Open Meetings Act? The Open Meetings Act is a Maryland law that requires public business to be conducted openly and publicly. It ensures that citizens receive adequate notice about when and where public meetings take place so they can attend if they wish. Key points: the act doesn't dictate when public bodies must meet. It only specifies when they do meet, they must do so openly. Exceptions exist for certain special and appropriate circumstances. Some public bodies may have additional requirements from county or city charters. An act applies when 3 conditions are met. A public body is meeting, which we're doing, quorum, majority of members is present, which is happening, and they are discussing public business, which we will and are. Public body, a multi-member entity qualifies as a public body if it was created by a law, Maryland Constitution, state statute, or county ordinance, an executive order, which this is, a rule, resolution, or bylaw of a government entity, an agreement between the state Department of Education, county boards of education, and county boards of education, or if members were appointed by the governor, a local government's chief executive, someone subject to executive's policy direction with at least 2 non-government members. So what counts as a meeting? This is going to be the last one. A quorum Usually a majority convenes, members discuss public business, communication can be in person, by phone, or potentially through closed-timed emails. Even social gatherings can become meetings if public business is discussed by a quorum. Okay, so Mr. Mark Beaumont sent me another form that I wanted to show real quick if I can find it. I think is everyone doing all right on that so far? Is there any questions? If so, we can just get into it. Okay. So I want to thank everyone for being here. I've answered a lot of questions from those on this committee and those that are not on the committee about what we're doing and why this is unique and why I want everyone to view this a little differently than anything you might have been a part of in the past. This committee's intentions are not for the heavy lifting of research, but seeking individuals who are specialized in key topics in history and experience in partnership, preservation, and interpretation. Examples of that would be knowing about enslaved records, auction sites, ships that brought enslaved community to Howard County, Indigenous leaders that know Maryland-specific history, projectile points, Indigenous groups, recognized or not federally recognized, or even agricultural economy of early Howard County. Teachers who work in children literary education, specifically individuals that know classroom curriculum for each grade correlating to state and national history. Individuals sought after for this group have knowledge in historic preservation and even financial understanding of maintaining structures as well. So since we're not doing the heavy lifting of research, we're looking for people that kind of have that information known and can just move a little bit quicker, even with architectural understanding as well in local Howard County history, so we can just really hit the ground running. So a lot of people have asked, what was the criteria? What were we looking for? And I think that explains that pretty well. So now we are on section part 4 of this meeting, and we're going to do member introductions. I will start. I'm just going to do a quick double check if anyone else is in an attendee stuck purgatory. No, okay. So my name is Keaton Holmes, acting section manager for the historic and cultural resources for Howard County and the African American history manager. I've worked with enslaved history, Reconstruction history, and Sam Crow era laws and how it affected communities, and working with publications since 2007. I started really young with this, working for the University of Alabama for 15 years. And I came from Montgomery Parks in the past couple of years back, worked there for about 8 years, and I was part of the Oakley Cabin, which was recognized for using AR technology. So my big part of this is using technology and making the museum fun for the public, and gaining new interaction and pushing technology and media in a way that's going to be like such we've never seen. And so yeah, so Native American history is my background in graduate school, archaeologist as well, cultural anthropologist as well, and I enjoy doing oral history and getting to know our communities, and I'm very excited for this. So Kelly, if you want to, I'm just going down the list who I see and who you are and how long,
Sure.
all that.
Pardon the airplane noise overhead from outside. But my name is Kelly Palick. I am parks archaeologist and program coordinator with Howard County Rec and Parks. I have been here for about 8 years now. So a little bit about my background is I have a master's in public anthropology, and my specialty really is working with doing public archaeology, working with kids through adults. And research-wise, I'm really interested in antebellum and postbellum Black history, specifically in Howard County. So that has been my focus of research for the past several years here. And yeah, so that's me in a nutshell.
Mary?
She emailed, she may not be able to unmute.
She's unmuted right now. Okay, we'll come back to you. The other phone number was Alan Green. You can star 6.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Keaton, when I first dialed in, it looked like I had to be unmuted on your end. So You might want to check that, but I eventually got myself unmuted.
I had
So
you
thank
in
you.
the viewer list. I needed to bump you up to panelist. Then you have speaking
Okay,
ability. Sorry about that.
I got you. Okay. And thanks for the invite to the working group here. Again, my name's Alan Green. My family history in the county goes back to 1783. I really got heavily involved in my family history after traveling um, all over as a military person, dependent, and in active duty. So I've settled here in the county for some 40 plus years and have gotten myself rerouted in the history of the county, developing a book that I'll be passing along to my kids and grandkids. Worked a bit with Kelly, trying to restore the gravesite St. Mary's Cemetery in Turf Valley, where my 4X great grandmother is interned. That continues to be a work in progress. I'm a retired business executive, currently a deacon with the Catholic Church, supporting the Resurrection St. Paul's Pastorate here in Howard County. So that's a little about me. Thanks, Kenan.
Hey, Keenan,
Keenan, you're muted.
Over.
Alan Shad, thank you very much.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Alan Shad. Let's see. I've lived in the county for like 25 years, and my wife and I have been in the historic district, living on Fells Lane for the last 21 years. My involvement in the county goes back probably that long. I've been with Preservation Howard County since 2003. But in addition to that, I also served on the Preservation Commission for a little over 10 years. So very involved. Both my wife and I are very involved in the community as well, since we got to navigate, or however you want to put it, the two floods from 16 and 18. So very, very intimately involved in the county. Thanks.
Thank you. And to honor our guest, Mark Beaumont, was there anything that you wanted to add before? I appreciate you coming in here and represents Office of Law to make sure I'm on the P's and Q's, but I asked him here. Is there anything that you would want to add before you go? Stay if you'd like.
Not really. I've sent you the preliminary guidance. I think that's something good to review just on parliamentary procedure. You've covered the quorum. I don't know how many of you've taken the Open Meetings Act training, but I would strongly recommend that everybody take it. One, it just kind of helps you get a better sense for how a work group, meeting group, commission, public body, public board operates. And also, well, at least one trained member needs to be in attendance at every meeting. So if you have 3 people that have taken it and those 3 are unable to attend the meeting, you can't actually hold the meeting. So the more people that can take it, kind of the better off I think you'll be. I'm happy to hang out in case you do have questions, but I'll go ahead and turn my video off, and Keenan's able to get a hold of me if he needs anything, and I'm happy to come back and talk.
I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
So, is that someone? So I'm working on getting an email for this group that's going to have historic advisory something at Howard County, some form of that. So I will have an email for us to use for conversation on anything regarding this advisory group. And I will send the attachments that Mark from Office of Law sent. Mark, once again, thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
All right.
Anything I can do.
Thank you. Ann Bennett of Howard County Historical Society, you're up.
Yeah. Hi, Keaton. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ann Bennett. I am the incoming director of the Howard County Historical Society. I've been here for just about 7 months now. Before that, I was executive director of the Laurel Historical Society for 7 years, so I'm familiar with the area. My background is in museums, archaeology, and education. I am an adjunct professor at Cecil College in anthropology, and that's what my degrees are in as well. I still consider myself an archaeologist. That is my first love. That's what I did, as Kelly knows, for many years up in Harford and Cecil counties. And so I've just kind of segued into the museum world from there. So I have a background in museums and archives and just kind of all the different ways that, we use and interpret material culture, whether it's in a museum display or exhibits or from the ground archaeologically. So I'm really happy to be part of this group. So thank you, Keenan.
Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. So who do we have?
Can you hear
The
me?
list is, yes.
Tyrone Tyler. I want to introduce
Tell
myself.
us about it. Yes, please.
I'm Tyrone Tyler. I had worked with the Howard County Historical Society and Recreation and Parks from 2014 through 2022. And we worked on Fells Lane and Ellicott City, putting together signage and getting information out to people. I worked with Ed Lilly from Recreation and Parks. And we put together quite a few information videos, which we had shown for, quite a few times. So I was born on Fells Lane, so I was there for it. And that's some of my history. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. I'm very grateful. Beth Burgess.
Hello, I'm Beth Burgess. I work with Planning and Zoning, Resource Conservation Division Chief. Been here for about 13 years. My background educationally is landscape architecture with interest in architecture and historic preservation. With Resource Conservation Division, I'm the chief, and that is 3 components of agricultural, environmental, and historic. So with historic, I am the executive secretary for the Cemetery Preservation Advisory Board, the Historic Sites Inventory, the Historic Cemetery Inventories, and then Historic Preservation Commission's executive secretary.
Thank you so much. So Connor Keneally, cut in if you're able to work, but I got a message that is, never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi there. Can everyone see and hear me?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. I had to sign in on my phone because my laptop was not being cooperative. Hi there, everyone. My name is Connor Keneally. I'm the manager of the B&O Ellicott City Station Museum. The Ellicott City Station is the oldest surviving railroad station in the United States. It was built back in 1831, and it's on the National Register of Historic Places. So I've been with Howard County since 2021, and my main role is overseeing the operations of the museum and planning our upcoming reinterpretation of the station.
Thank you. Donna.
Hi everyone, I'm Donna Bolanowicz. I have experience teaching elementary and middle school, as well as teaching in educator preparation programs, the graduate and undergraduate levels. My degree is elementary ed, master's in reading, and PhD in curriculum and instruction. I know standards very well and have designed a lot of my own curricula too. I also have expertise in children's literature and am writing some historical fiction children's books.
And Donna, thank you so much for being a part of this. We met by happenstance at the Ellicott City Colored School. We got to talk, and I said, you have plans for me, I have plans for you. And I'm glad it worked out, us meeting to figure out all of our overlap in history and what our goals are for the county. So thank you for being a part of this.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be part of it.
Excellent. Ed, you are up.
Okay, my family arrived in the Patapsco River Valley in 1859. My great-great-grandfather and his son, my great-grandfather, all served in the Patapsco Guard here in Ellicott City during the Civil War. I've served on a lot of the local preservation and history groups over the years. I own a company called Maryland History Tours, which does multiple history programs related to Ellicott City. We also do ghost tours, and I spearheaded the EC250 celebration in 2022.
Thank you very much. Aaron Berry. Hello, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Sorry again, I was a little late this morning. But I'm Erin Berry. I'm the archivist of the Columbia, Maryland Archives, which is a service of Columbia Association, which is a little confusing. So we are not the CA's repository, though we are a part of CA. We are a community archive of the development and planning, as well as obviously the community of Columbia. But I have been the archivist since 2021, but I've been in the realm of archives for over a decade. I have a master's degree in library and information science. But yeah, so I'm really excited to be a part of this. So thank you so much for inviting me. And yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Greg.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Greg Lepore. I'm currently volunteering with Kelly at the site she's digging at behind her. I did work on the Turf Valley Cemetery cleanup, and I worked with Wayne on the Guilford cleanup. I recently retired from the National Archives and Records Administration after 21 years. Not exactly how, when, or why I wanted to retire, but it happened. Prior to that, I was with the Maryland State Archives and the Utah State Archives. I am the owner and researcher of hococivilwar.org, which covers all aspects of all the aspects that I've discovered of military activity in Howard County during the Civil War. As most people know, one or two very minor skirmishes, no battles, but just about every soldier who fought in the Eastern Theater of the Civil War came through the railroad, either down the Route 1 corridor or out along the river going west. The only railroad connecting the nation's capital with Boston, New York, Philadelphia. So a very important and overlooked aspect. So if you haven't been to hococivilwar.org, please check it out. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Greg. And thank you for what you're doing at Blandair. It's highly appreciative. Highly, highly. Samantha Holmes, fellow Holmes of no relation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Samantha Holmes. I work with the Department of Planning and Zoning. I've been there for 18 years, and 17 of them have been staff to the Historic Preservation Commission. My background is in city and regional planning and historic preservation.
Thank you very much. And Wayne Davis, step right up.
Hello. Yeah, I'm a retired federal employee. My background is in research, including historical research. My master's degree is in environmental biology. A very large background in performance measures, performance standards, making sure things make sense, manage contracts, grants, and dozens of projects. My interest, I'm eager to learn more about this group, and I really appreciate well-documented, accurate, factual history. Local history is cool, so thank you.
No, thank you, Wayne. Good to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
We've had similar orbits for my last year and a half here.
Yeah.
So any questions before we talk about the subcommittees and further goals from anyone? You can put a hand or just step up.
Apologies, I did not give an introduction.
Oh, my apologies, Kyla. Went from Greg straight to Samantha. I skipped you.
No problem. I think you might have called me when you were muted, but I was not sure, so I just stayed quiet. But yeah, my name is Kyla Cools. I'm the Heritage Program Manager with Patapsco Heritage Greenway. I am also an archaeologist and cultural anthropologist. I got my master's and PhD in anthropology with a focus on historic archaeology. My specializations primarily include industrial labor history and cemetery preservation. So thanks for inviting me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So this is a really neat opportunity.
Hey, Keenan, I
Keenan?
don't know if there's anybody else there. Go ahead. Who's talking?
Yeah, this is Mary Catherine.
Oh, hello, hello.
Sorry, I was doubly muted earlier. Do you want my introduction?
Yes, please.
Okay. I grew up in Clarksville in a historic home, and I founded Preservation Howard County 25 years ago as part of a push to get historic preservation added to the general plan process and planning, zoning, and development process. I was the first director of the Patapsco Heritage Greenway and served on the Maryland Heritage Committee and chaired the legislative committee where we successfully lobbied for funding, increased funding for heritage areas. I worked on various projects throughout the last 25 years, some successful, such as securing funding for the Ellicott City B&O Museum for the restoration of the caboose and the train garden, limiting development under Reagan Manor. Some efforts are still up in the air, such as advocating for the preservation of Blandair and its materials and the Woodlawn slave quarters, and some not successful, including the complete loss of historic structures such as Bloody Dam. Currently, I am the chair of the Howard County Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Did we miss Maya, or maybe I missed Maya?
Maya, do you want to introduce yourself for Recreation Park?
Sure, I can introduce myself. See if that works. Hello, everybody. I'm Maya Hester. I am with Recreation and Parks. I am the assistant to the director, and I'm here in this committee to just help with anything that might be needed in an administrative sense. I also work with the Rec and Parks Advisory Board and the HOCO 250 committee.
Thank you so much for the help, Maya. I'm very grateful. When I see your email come in, I'm ecstatic, like, yes, pointers. Raul?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Raul Delarme. I serve as Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for the County Executive. I just wanted to join this first meeting to thank all of you for, taking your time, your valuable time to join this advisory group. You're going to have a great leader in Keenan here to chair this group. And tell you, from what I'm hearing from all the credentials, that all of you introduced yourself as Keenan, I think you have a great group here to work with. And I think we're going to get a lot of good information on the history of Howard County. So again, appreciate all your time. The executive does as well. And we're looking forward to getting the final report at the end of this session.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So if no one has any other questions, I'm going to continue to point 5, which is subcommittees. This is a really awesome opportunity because as I was researching the Indigenous history, because Kelly and our volunteers and our team, we're finding unique artifacts and we're thinking about how do we want to present these, what's the best way. We're finding things that are from 3000 BC, or 1500 BC, and that's really exciting. We want to talk about the best way to present that Indigenous history, agricultural history, African American history, the structures themselves, and I want to get into how we kind of organized this executive order into 4 subcommittees. And if you think another one should be added, we can discuss that. But I'm going to hit you with our list first. So the 4 groups, everyone will be in one. And it'd be kind of hard to be in 2 groups if you want to, because next month when we meet again, we'll have breakout sessions. And once we decide which group everyone's in, when we enter this WebEx again, you will be in your breakout subcommittee groups. So it's kind of hard to occupy 2 spaces at the same time. But talk to me if there's another group that you have a burning desire for. But the list that we were working on thus far is HOCO History Further Research, And so like for me, looking up Indigenous history, there's not a lot of chapters written about it. And that's something that I've had a large interest in. And unfortunately, Jess McPherson isn't here. And so, was that I thought someone just joined. Oh, 2 attendees. Let me see who came in here. You, Connor, MJ. Oh, Marlena. Okay. So let's make panelist. Marlena, welcome, welcome. We just finished introductions and reading the executive order. If you wanted to introduce yourself, and we're going to talk about the subcommittees. Perfect timing.
The name is Marlena Giroux, and I'm the executive director and lead researcher for a history nonprofit called HOCO Roots Revisited Incorporated.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate that. So yeah, so there's 21 people total and 16 are here, and we met quorum. And so thank you very much for giving your time today, everyone. So the 4 groups that we have in mind thus far for the subcommittees for everyone to choose where they want to fit in, the voting component of this advisory work group will be in the reports that you come out of the subcommittee that kind of get totaled together, and deciding what goes in there. That will be a full discussion with voting and deciding how that's going to be and what goes into it. So I appreciate all 4 groups. And like I said, if you feel a 5th one needs to be made for some reason, we can talk about it. But as it stands, we have the HOCO History Further Research that talks about whatever you decide. But what we were thinking from the Howard County side is what topics have not been tapped, what historic sites have not been investigated. This would include acquisition of sites or sites that should just have a deeper look into them. And so that further research is kind of a more broad, and that's why this group is so, I think, so polished, because we all have so much information. So the heavy lifting of the research won't be as necessary. We know, hey, I know this site. Hey, I know this Indigenous group. Let's talk about it. So that's the first group, the HOCO History Further Research, and what just needs to be discussed more that happened in our large area of Howard County in general. Archaeology is its own group that would entail the artifacts and how we present them and the things we're finding. Kelly would be a great help in that group, and she will be talking about what we have and plans for future sites that have material culture and that artifact, that footprint there. The third group is Programming, Public, and Partnership. That is I won't say catch-all, but the Programming, Public, and Partnership is exactly as it sounds. It's how is the county relating to different groups and entities that are here, nonprofits, working with schools, homeschooling groups, weekend events. I mean, the Ellicott City Colored School, we had a Porsche bike meet that wanted to stop by, and everyone came by in their hot rods, and this was the Colored School was one of their spots on their scavenger hunt. So like, how do we network with different groups like that? That was a really neat opportunity. And so things to that effect. So Programming, Public, and Partnership. And the fourth one is Current Interpretation and Signage. I know Connor will be excited to hear what you all have to say in that group, if he still chooses that. You are your own man. And Current Interpretation and Signage would include the Howard County sites that we do manage and that we are the stewards of. And that would include the firehouse, the B&O, the cabin, log home, and the Ellicott City Colored School, and all the sites that we have, and the ones that are not to the public, discussion of what your thoughts and to be done, and interpretation inside of these historic structures. So this last group, Current Interpretation and Signage, is taking a specific look at what we manage and what are we doing, how can we improve, and how can we take it to the next century with technology and cool stuff. So I'm gonna go down the list as I see them in participations. If you have any questions, I have my highlighter in 4 colors that are color coded for me, my organizational skills, and we're gonna figure out what groups everyone has an interest in, and I want to hear from everyone here. So we can start with, oh, thank you so much, Maya. Maya, you are the best. So we're going to look at starting from Kelly. Which group has tickles your fancy? Has your interest?
Archaeology, obviously.
No, what? What a wild card. All right. Okay, and so I see Mary at the 410 number that ends in 25. If your audio is working, do you have any?
I think I'm most interested in the, I don't know what you call it, future history, studying especially the indigenous populations and that kind of thing, if there's room for me there,
So the historic further research.
certainly. But I serve at your pleasure, so if you need me somewhere else, stick me there.
No, sure. Oh, okay, so the HOCO history further research would cover the indigenous component and working on that. So if you have any indigenous interest, that would be the category. If you have indigenous interest for Howard County's sake in this work group, and you want to be in the programming, public, and partnership, that could work as well. That would be neat to have it in 2 of the 4 categories, because then that's about how are we getting that information out to the public and who do we partner with. So if that is more your interest on the public facing side, there's also room there. But for the research side, that would also be a help. So to clarify, Mary, you prefer the history for the research?
I do, but remember, I serve at your pleasure, so stick me wherever you need me.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I see Tyrone. No, that was Mr. Green.
Yes,
Mr. Green, if that was if you want to go, or whoever.
Keenan, I'm really torn between the archaeology and the HOCO history. And if I could defer to Kelly in terms of the efforts with these cemeteries, which of those 2 would you find most useful for me to participate in?
Archaeology.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's archaeology. Yeah.
All right. Wayne Davis.
Yes, sir. A lot of things to be interested here with. I just want to make sure that if I choose a particular group, that does not mean that I will not be able to provide input into something else as well. If you know what I mean. I mean, I am interested in the, programming, the public partnership aspects. I'm also very interested in research. If I see something that comes our way that may not reach that research standard that's necessary, I hope I will be able to, mention that. I don't know the expectations yet. So
what if I may, if you picked one group and then, because we'll be taking notes in the 4 breakout groups, if you were sent those notes, would you want to add some 2 cents? Because so let me take a step back. So on the 1st of the month, like today, we're going to meet as a full group. Next month, we meet in our breakup groups the whole time in your subcommittees. This will not be a huge 22-person group again. Next month will be just in our breakup groups of 5 to 6 people in each room. And then the following month, in repeating, we come back with what we've discussed. So in that time period between we meet again in 2 months as a full group, would you like to be sent the notes from a different group and then talk with the people in that group to see what you can add to that? Because the breakout groups will be at the same time, so you couldn't be in 2 places. So would you like to be sent?
I would certainly like that. And I suspect that possibly others would like that as well.
Yes.
So however you want to manage that, because there's a breadth of knowledge here that would be great to take advantage of. So if we can do that, then I'll go with the programming public partnership.
Okay. And the following month, we will all meet and talk about it. And then I'll have thoughts on a group that I'm not in. And so the following, in 2 months, when we all meet, we'll check in and we'll all have that bigger conversation. So you're saying HOCO further research?
No, the programming public partnership.
Partnership. My apologies. Okay. Alan Shad, and thank you, Wayne. Thank you for that.
I'll go ahead and archaeology would be my interest.
Okay. Ann Bennett.
Hi, I know we're getting quite full, but I would prefer the archaeology group.
Sure.
But again, like Mary said, put me where you need me.
And it's okay if I had a feeling that current interpretation and signage might have 3 or 4 people, and that's okay. The quorum would put us at 9. Oh, no, yes, 9 would put us at quorum. So if a group gets large, we'll just have to conduct Open Meetings Act policy accordingly if a group is of that size. But I am not worried about that. If the group's 3, that group's going to run. That group's going to run with it and get far. So with less discussion. So Arnold of Savage was not here. Aaron Berry.
So I think I would be helpful in everything except archaeology. I'm interested in either current interpretation or programming and partnership. I just think that I might be of use in current interpretation just because I do exhibits as well. So I do have a background in that. As well
Would you
as
like to pick that for now and then wait a month to hear how things went in both groups and then make a decision then? Could I get you down for current interpretation now just as a
I think
pick?
that's fine. Yeah, but also again, like other people have said, if you think that, or if you had an idea of where I could go when you were setting this up, I'm happy to change if you have a better idea. But I think I would be helpful in any of those 3.
Thank you. Because this is a year-long commitment and everyone here is doing this pro bono, unless you work for the county, I don't want to dictate where you go. This is a year of your research, your time, your efforts, and I want you all to pick the category that you feel the most useful, and that's really big to me. So I'm appreciative of everyone being here. Yeah, so we'll start with current interpretation for now, and then we'll see. Yeah, you're not locked in, it's
Thank
all right.
you.
All right, current interpretation. Canberra. All right, Kyla Cools.
Apologies, I am on my phone and couldn't figure out how to get the mute button to unmute. I would probably prefer archaeology, but like others have stated, I know that's getting pretty full, so happy to also volunteer myself for the site interpretation and signage group if needed. Sorry
I'm
about
gonna
the
put
dogs.
you down for archaeology.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah. I want you to go with your gut. First thing you said, I'm rolling with it.
Yep, I teach those classes. I feel best there.
Yeah, and Kelly will be very happy. So this is fine. Let's do it. All right. Who's next on this list? Ed Lilly. Next is here.
I'm thinking programming public partnership.
All right. Program. Thank you very much. Greg, is it Hobard? Is that is the D silent? Hobard?
No, that's my website. Lepore is the last name.
Lepore, I knew that.
Although my dad was Paul Lepore, but he wasn't the fire chief Paul Lepore.
Gotcha.
We used to get mixed up. They used to get mixed up. He was a fire chief in Laurel. I'm waiting to see what kind of recruitment bonuses are getting offered or incentives here. But right now I've been doing entirely archaeology, volunteering with Kelly. And then I would also be happy with the history and further research, since the Hoco Civil War was just a tremendous amount of research and primary sources and transcription and things like that. I'm happy to go either, but you can stick me with archaeology and echo what everybody else said. I'm interested in everything except the current interpretation in signs. So I want to echo what Wayne said, is I think there's a lot of cross interest here that I think we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't break out, round trip it, have some guests, and then maybe stagger some of the meeting times where some of the, you know, where it would be possible to at least dip into one or two of the other groups.
Right. And that's why Wayne mentioned in an email like a month ago, his interest in a couple different things. And I'm like, I want to see how the room, if everyone was just happy in one spot, then we wouldn't need to do much. But I'm glad to hear, because I was curious with you in particular, Greg, because of your research side, the Civil War history, and you doing archaeology. I had no idea which one you were going to pick. So I was like, what's he going to do? So I just wanted to hear what you had.
Yeah, Kelly was winking at me when I was at the dig today, so I think she wanted me there. But I'm happy to do either. I do like the research aspect. To be honest, I only started the HOCO Civil War site a few years ago. For 30 years, I've been researching a county in Virginia, which I've done just an incredibly stupid amount of research over 30 years. So I'm happy to do the research aspect, but I'm a little more of a homebody these days since I retired. So, you know, driving over to Bland Air is pretty good for me.
All right. Jess McPherson's not here. Tyrone Tyler.
Yes, I think interpretation and signage would probably be my primary. I find that as I visit sites, I come up with ideas about what's not there. Things that I would like to add, what might spark a person's interest. And
I'm appreciative. I think you'll be great in that.
I think that we could add things that would make people come up with questions before they talk to the docents. And that's what I would like to do.
No, thank you. Thank you for your choice. Marlena.
Well, I'm going to piggyback, of course, off of what my colleague Wayne said, and Greg, just meeting you. So, but you said it, you hit the nail on the head also, that a few of us have a few topics of interest here, and have a vested interest in wanting to make sure that things are a little bit better in the county in a lot of these different topics. Everything except for archaeology. I love archaeology, I really do, but yeah, I leave that digging in the dirt to the people that dig in the dirt. I dig in different dirt. I dig in the records, everything. So, so I guess though, with since Wayne's taking programs in public partnership, and I do want to just make sure that that I heard this correctly. We will have an ability, if it comes out like over the next month, if we don't think that it's the best fit, will we be able to switch?
I don't see a problem with that. Especially before we're writing the report, I think we should find our musical chairs before that point. But I think shopping around's fine first month, you know. And so I'll collect the notes from everyone. So because we're going to meet as a full group in 2 months. Next month is just the breakout groups. So after the breakout groups have happened next month, I will let me know if you have interest in 2 categories, and I will send you the notes discussed before then. So we meet in the following month, talk roundtable, King Arthur style. We can discuss if any switching or pivoting wants to be done.
Okay. Because at first glance, when I first saw the executive order, I didn't think I realized that the word, but as I'm seeing here, that Maya had put in that it says further research. And then because it says what topics have not been tapped, which historic sites have not been investigated. As a researcher, I have an innate interest in research, yes, but I'm not sure if I would say that topics have not been tapped. We do have Black history sites. We have the log house in the cabin and so forth. We have, so I'm not sure. I guess no one's in research right now, so I guess I might be inclined to go ahead and just take it so someone will be in there. But I do have concerns with the way that it's written up. I don't really necessarily think that what we have to bring to the table isn't already being tapped and everything. It is, Black history is being.
She was summarizing what I was saying, because I was just saying my understandings of these categories. So she was summarizing me. This is not law. So further research could mean any historic site we have and just expanding on what we know and are bringing more interpretation and more paneling to a subject we've already started. So it doesn't have to be breaking ground in history.
Okay.
This is just furthering it.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I
right
think we have
now,
Mary and Catherine on that group right now.
Pardon?
I'll go ahead and take the research one, and then with the caveat that yes, I would like to. I want it to be known that I do have an interest in the in programming and public partnership. I will also say that I also have an interest in the site interpretation signage, everything as
Okay.
well. So if I can get the notes from both of those, I can multitask. I'd appreciate both of them, please.
I'm willing to send that. If y'all have the bandwidth for this, I will send you what you need. I didn't want to overload the first round. So if y'all are asking to see other groups, I will send that to you all. I will send that. So I'm making notes now of those of interest in multiple groups. Thank you, Marlena. Thank you very much. Nikki Marlab was not here. Donna.
I have interest in every group. However, I think with my experience with schools, the programming and public partnerships would probably be the best fit for me since I've worked with preschools through university.
Okay. Thank you. Connor, you're up.
I'd be interested in current interpretation and signage.
All right. Beth?
Hey, this might take a minute. So Samantha Holmes and then also Ken Short, who's out of town, were part of this group. We were going to tag team some efforts. We actually see 1 and 4. So the one aspect of research, because we have Ken Short, our county's architectural historian, on the group, so he could expand on inventories, on information. He's a great researcher. I think all of us could serve for acquisitions, what could be made, that aspect. We have GIS and we know the county very well. But also with the interpretation aspect, it just seems like we work with that on a regular basis. Like Wayne had said, we're interested in having the information be accurate and just the management of that. I mean, we work with the approvals in the historic districts of Ellicott City and Lawyers Hill, so we would be working to ensure those signs could be approvable. So we're between 1 and 4, and if there's 3 of us, I don't know if we can tag team those things, or
Sure.
if you want to, like sometimes we're going to be covering each other for the time bandwidth. So I don't know if we
Right.
should be on the same team, or we can call those 2 teams and then split as needed.
I think that works. I think that works fine.
Okay, and Samantha, do you want to weigh in a little bit?
I just agree with what you said. Yeah, I think we'll be tag teaming as needed. So there might be a month where like one of us isn't in attendance. So you wouldn't necessarily want me speaking for Ken with research because that's not what I do. But certainly the other stuff I can assist with. So however it works out for you best to organize.
So yeah, we're averaging. Thank you. I think the divide and conquer route, it works. There's 3 of y'all. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So as it stands right now, and I'll weigh in after I do this count. So in current interpretation and signage, we have kind of the split between the DPZ crew, Connor, Tyrone, and Aaron. So that's 1, 2, so that's 4-ish, 4/5. All right, so programming, public and partnership, that's the green. We have Donna, Wayne, and Ed, 3. Archaeology, we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of Alan, Ann, Kyla, Greg, Alan Green, and Kelly. That's 6 in that group. And the HOCO history further research, that's my pink, red. So Mary, Marlena, Beth, Kenneth, Sam kind of split on that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, so 3. So that's 3.5 right now in that group. So it's 3, 6, 3, 4. So it's a fairly decent spread there. I was leaning towards joining the HOCO further research, but I was going to float around in here so I could also collect notes for everyone. But I am leaning towards the further research as well, more specifically for the indigenous component of is a large goal of mine. I do know that Jess McPherson, our Indigenous representative, she will most likely be in the further research as well, but she may choose programming, public, and partnership. So I'm gonna message Arnold of Savage, Jess McPherson, Nikki Marl out of Elkridge, and I think those are the only three that we're missing, and figure out where they want to be. So any questions? I think we're making pretty good time.
I have a question. I'm trying to figure out, so when we are meeting in these breakout sessions, and it's through WebEx, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so in terms of the notes, I'll just say for these, is this group meeting in terms of with those subcommittees? Like well, let me start with this group. With this meeting that we have here, is this being recorded, and is this going to be sitting on somewhere?
Yes.
Okay, because I couldn't find in the calendar, it wasn't advertised in the county calendar
It's
meeting.
this first month is not advertised, but I will be uploading through with DTCS or IT crew to put it on there after. So
Okay.
yes, public can join, but they need a link to join. So we're working on the website component. I'll have an email as well next round.
But I guess what I'm asking, for the purpose of the larger group, and then also for the sub groups, what is going to be serving as the minutes for each of those for anybody who, first of all, wants to see what's happening, but also just in case somebody's not there? Is it going to be a video, or is it just going to be written notes?
Just in case, Mark Beaumont of Office of Law, if you may chime in real quick.
Yeah, I want to weigh in on that. So I'm going to talk to Keenan just to make sure I get the full idea of the breakout groups, the structures and things like that, because there are Open Meetings Act concerns about having a full meeting, breaking out into separate subcommittee meetings at the same time, and then coming back, because you can't in a virtual setting do exactly it. It addresses the concerns you just raised. How can a person attend all 4 of the subcommittee meetings or however many at the same time? How do you record the minutes? How do you share the meetings? You can't really do that. So we've got to figure out a way to structure the subcommittee.
So if the subcommittees don't meet as a full group at all, and they just stay in their groups, and we're not hitting quorum, wouldn't that cover?
Let's talk about it offline and see what we can figure out.
Okay, because the largest group is 6. Okay, thank you.
So so we'll find out later on then is what I'm hearing. I'm assuming, I mean, I'm sure that what this means is that the larger group, the full body, which is us here, well, I don't have the answer yet. Is that going to be, has the decision been made on that? Are the minutes going to be the video, or is it not going to be the video and someone is going to be tasked with creating written minutes that then would be disseminated to us and the public? Which one is going to be
I was intending to have this video on the county website.
Okay.
For minutes for those that aren't here, notes have been taken. Maya is here, and I'm doing as well. But I want to make sure I answered your question. That answer?
So in other words, the video, that's what I'm looking for, so that not only for us, but then for the public, they always have a way, even if they can't attend the meeting or they didn't know about the meeting, so that they can track our work, or we can track our work for anybody that can't, show up. Everything. Right. So in that regard, to know, I always find it useful to know exactly what blow by blow what was said, to have the proper context. And a lot of times the minutes, any kind of written notes, are usually like more online with high level notes, in which you miss all those nuances for what precipitated someone saying this or that or making such and such decisions. So that's why I'm really asking, just for purposes of, we are working in a short period of time with this group. It'll be in jam-packed full of stuff, I imagine. And so just for continuity purposes, in case somebody just has to miss meetings for whatever reason and then desires to catch up, so that they aren't far behind and stuff, they would be able to do so. But then it's a question for 2 things: the full body, which I think is answered by this is being answered by what you said, that they would just be recorded, and then there would be there is no need for written meeting minutes because the video serves as that record. But then the question about the breakout sessions, I guess the Office of Law, because I understand what they're trying to solve and whatever, you guys will get back to us with the answer for whatever was decided with that, so that we would be able to catch up and then know what's going on in those subcommittees.
Right. Thank you. And thank you as well, Mark. So my goal is to never go over an hour and a half. I respect everyone's time. I'm gonna do my best. We're at an hour and 7 minutes, so I think we're doing pretty well right now. Any final questions? I'm going to send an email out either from the new email or from my personal email, work email, about what we discussed today. And I'm gonna talk to Mark before I send that out to everyone about minutes, posting this clip online on the website, and how we can proactively get it out even maybe before, so people can sign up to it. Yeah. Any final questions for me or for each other?
I have a question as well. So in terms of the next meetings within these sub, I guess I want to ask, I know that with the small groups and small numbers here in the subcommittees, it's probably not going to be necessary for there to be a chair necessarily, because it is a small group, unless the need, arises to do so. But in terms of setting up the meeting times and days, can we get some discussion just a little bit about how to do, because I know that even setting up for this meeting, I came from another meeting because this one just got set up to just say that here's the time and place to show up, and then at the start time wasn't convenient for me, but I know that I wasn't asked. The mechanism that gets used for determining what is a good time for the people in the subcommittees, is there some idea of what structure we would be using? I imagine it's not going to be SurveyMonkey. It's not going to be, what will be used so that we can all have a good voice and really get, to say what our availability is.
So my goal for the first meeting was just to get it, because I was losing 1/3 of participation any date I chose, and I had to get it done in September. So this one, I appreciate y'all rolling with the punches on this one. There's two options we can do. There might be more, but I'm thinking of two. Option one, I can contact everyone in their each group, and you all can decide on your own when you want to meet in the next 30 days. Or we can set a date, and through WebEx, we break out at the same time in our smaller groups. And we don't meet as a full group, we just meet in our breakout groups. But let me talk to Mark of Office of Law first on that one. But we can have a set time to all meet in our separate groups at the same time, or for those that want to hover into two different groups, so archaeology group, there's 6 people in there. Do you all want to email each other or discuss now or later what date works for you 6? How would you all want to do this? This is the part that I could go either way.
I mean, we can certainly coordinate with each other. I think I have everybody's contact. I do have
I will
everybody's
send out a
contact.
list of all the groups as they are right now. And you all, so yeah, what is everyone feeling? I could do every 30th of the month except Christmas, and then adjust the date then, except for that holiday month. Every 30th we meet, we make that the thing. Or do you want in your own groups to decide when you 3, you 4, you 6 all want to meet? Looking for any input on that.
I think the smaller groups, it'll be easier for them to get together and set a date than it is to set a date for 20 people, which is the problem you had here. So if the individual groups wanted to set their dates, I think that would work better for them.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay.
And I do just want to say that when it came time for that SurveyMonkey survey, as an example, I knew that usually with groups, what I have seen with other commissions that I've served on is that when we can all see, when the mechanism for asking our date and time, when the others can see it, usually then people can see that, okay, this one seems to be getting the most traction. This has, and so, okay, yeah, I can go ahead and make that one work. Without that, we were all blind for it. And so I couldn't see how anybody else voted for it. And then I was taking a stab in the dark and just truly making it. But it wasn't entirely surprising to me that you ended up not being able to get a good thing. Because I think that oftentimes a group will do that. Individuals in a group, they'll say, okay, well, I can see, oh no, let me not pick this one because I can see that I'll be the only one choosing that date. So there's no need. I'll be splicing it if I vote that way. So maybe for purposes of for the next big larger group, if there's a mechanism, if you are doing that, maybe make it that we can all see how we are voting everything, instead of having us be blind to it.
I don't recall the voting part. Let me try to word this. Could you vote twice? Because if you picked a date that wasn't popular.
We had to pick one date. When I picked it.
So you're saying you want to be able to change your vote on the next survey?
No, what the problem with when I was in to do it, what was presented to me were the options, but I couldn't see how anybody else voted first in the beginning stage of it. And then I thought that after I went ahead and cast a vote that I'd be able to see after I cast mine, how mine voted, what my vote was in relation to everybody else's, but I couldn't see anyone else's vote then either. So I had no idea. I only knew how I voted for the time and date that I picked, but I couldn't see how anybody else on here also did. I was blind at the beginning and I was blind at the end also.
Okay.
And so it wasn't until you sent the email to say I didn't get consensus, to be able to have quorum. It wasn't until then, but by then I wasn't surprised that that's how it happened because we were all blind to it.
Gotcha.
Keenan, are we set, like, do we have to use a specific sign up software? Because I know Doodle Poll, you can actually see, and you can see the options and you can see who voted, and that works really well.
Okay.
And that would solve that problem. But I don't know if we're.
I'll pick a
I don't
poll
know if
that
we're
shows
limited to
results.
what we can use.
Because I figured if people, in my head when I was thinking, because 2 of the dates only like 3 people picked out of 21. So I was like, okay, those days are not going to work. I was not thinking people wanted to see the results to maybe I actually could do this day. I thought if you pick that date, that's the day you picked. So I will make sure I do a poll, doodle, survey, whatever that shows with everyone the pie chart of the breakdown was. So I will do that next time we do that. So Kyla, when to meet is good for that. Okay, thank you. Yeah, from emailing everyone with the out-of-towners, out-of-states, can't do Tuesdays, can't do Mondays. It was about 8 people attending for most of the options. So I just had to pick a date. So I'm glad that we had 16 people here out of the 21. So thank you for working with me on that. Any other thoughts before we go? All right. Well, I want to thank you all so much for our inaugural first meeting. I'm really excited for these categories and what we plan to do. I appreciate those that have the bandwidth to step up and observe more than one category. Power to you and thank you. And so I will send an email out of the summary of the breakdown of each group. And then our emails are all, most people, about 9% of people here have emails that are very identifiable in the email list of BC and yeah, my words. Anyway, so I'll get an email from me and thank you all. Any final thoughts? Let me know. If not, I think we are adjourned.
Thank you, Keenan.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank
you.
All right. Enjoy your day, everyone. Go be great and take care.